Here comes the greatest film director, almost bow or stand erector. Here comes the greatest film director. The people in the magazines, the people in the magazines, here comes, here comes, here comes the greatest film director. All must bow and stand erector. Here comes the greatest film director. All must bow and stand erector. The people, the people in the magazines, the people from the magazines, the people in the magazines, the people from the magazines. Here comes the greatest film director. Here comes the greatest film director. And all must bow and stand erector. The greatest film director. All must bow and stand erector. That means when the big film director comes on the set in Hollywood, they all have to bow, you know, because they're all kind of, whoa, the big film director's arrived, so they've all got to kind of behave, you know. And then the stand erector, that means they're kind of nervous, you know, like, oh, here's that big film director, you know. And that's what it's about. It's about a film director. And this film director that I was thinking of was Federico Fellini. Because I think he's the greatest film director. Could be somebody else, you know, I don't know. Alain Resnais or Alfred Hitchcock. Actually, I was thinking of Alfred Hitchcock because he was a fat guy, wasn't he? You know, kind of fat guy. And the way he walks, he kind of walks slowly and like a fat guy. But the thing is, the thing about Alfred Hitchcock was he used to have a television series in Britain after he'd been to Hollywood, I think, and he used to do these half-an-hour small films like plays. And because it was Alfred Hitchcock, they had this music that kind of went like this, like I just played, like boom, 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 boom. Like Ironside, you know that Ironside, the detective, is kind of. That's what they have kind of music that goes. And it goes. And it goes. They're kind of. They have a bass guitar. Well, they have a kind of bass guitar, or a piano doing that bass, and then it's kind of like trumpets, and it creates kind of like the sound of a city with cars and cars kind of with the hooters, you know, tooting, you know, and you got all these films in America, like. Lots of detective films, and they had that kind of music. And all the music was actually kind of like the same. It must have been coming out the same studio, and they had like the same like composers who must have been like putting these sounds together to kind of create excitement. It starts off kind of calm and kind of laid back. Then they show you it pans to kind of like a street in San Francisco. If you remember, the streets of San Francisco was like that as well. And then after a while the music starts to go a bit mental, a bit and that's because there's some kind of danger lurking. So that's how they build up the tension in these detective films, because it's not really the visuals, it's not the plot that's telling you, oh, something nasty's going to happen soon, some problems coming. It's the music, because the music is directing the film, not the visuals. And sometimes what they do is, when it's a really crap film, they put in loads of really good music because it kind of disguises how crap the film is and how bad the plot is. So what I'm trying to get across to you is the music. In most films, it's the music that keeps the thing going. That's why they get music off these big bands, say like Coldplay or U2 or The Cure, Nirvana, whatever it is. They'll stick a load of really popular music in because people will watch it and they kind of like the music. So I'm like, well, it animates you. Look at me. I kind of went, oh, because the music animates you, you see, it makes you kind of excited. But it also can really cheer up a very boring film. So that song is called The Greatest Film Director. Ba, 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 ba. Here comes the greatest film director. Boom, 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 boom. And it's completely different to blues, rock and roll, reggae, whatever it is. It's kind of, I don't know how I came about it, you know. Sometimes you're just looking for a chord structure, some melody that's a bit different, and that's one of them. So I'll do it again. It's a long film, this one will take ages to upload. Here comes the greatest film director. Almost bow or stand erected. The people in the magazines, the people in the magazines, people in the magazines. And the people in the magazines are kind of like all the photo models, all the Hollywood show, all the dresses, the suits, the diamonds, the jewellery, the necklaces, all that crap comes with the film industry. So that song is kind of pointing at that, kind of like a Hollywood. It's kind of saying, fuck off, you know, it's kind of like, we know what's going on, and there's a great deal of promotion, and you get really good films, you know. That's not the problem. The problem is to get good stories and good directors. But I kind of liked Fellini. I liked his Italian stuff. It was much more humane and not as constructed by scriptwriters. Whoever was making those films or writing those stories picked a very simple theme, and then Fellini kind of made them more complicated, more complex. But I was thinking of Fellini when I wrote that. But not just Fellini, Alfred Hitchcock, you know, he did Psycho, The Birds, all those films, and he kind of was a fat guy, so that the guitar is kind of like a fat guy walking along. I know political correctness won't let me get away with that. But that's why when they had these Alfred Hitchcock films in Britain, they were half an hour. They were made by Alfred Hitchcock, I think, and you don't see them anymore. But they were really good films. I think he did. I think he made the films of Somerset Maugham, who was like an English writer, and they were brilliant. You know, like the British film industry is brilliant. You know, and eventually, if certain people or hundreds of people are very good, they go to Hollywood because they're all brilliant camera personnel. You know, men, women, camera, sound recordists, the whole lot of them. You know, to make a film, it's really difficult. And then the music, put it all together. You know, so that's it. Okay, that's like Burt Lancaster. He's go, hi, I'm Burt Lancaster. Okay. Peace, man.